I'm about to try something that could result in absolute disaster. I'm going to take this 300 ring power per hour tile, and gosh, I hope I don't fail. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and today I'm taking the strongest tile I can find, and it's right next to my city. And that, by the way, is a part of the magic. As I just get a quick look here at, a little bit of war. Little bit of warring going on off to the side. Okay, got to keep my eyes on this. I don't know what they're up to here, but I think they're up to no good. What's their power? Oh, okay. Okay, 19,500 ring power per hour. Oh, baby. They're looking for trouble. Oh, well, we'll give them some trouble, maybe. Or maybe they'll cut me off on my way to these points and my marches will be sent home. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. 300 ring power per hour. Now, why am I doing this even if it trades pretty negatively? First of all, I want to be able to gather from a higher tier tile. Second of all, I want to be able to do mock battling from a higher tier tile. The highest I have is a 260. If I gather from this, it's going to be 72,000 resources, and I'll just get my chat blocker out of the way there. Also, you can see that if I mock battle over here, the mock battling is going to be a solid amount of experience, 40,000 plus 6,000 bonus from all the ring stuff that I've got going on. But if I take a 300, that amount goes up every time I want to do that sort of stuff. Also, holy cow, this dude is in on the action, baby. Let's freaking go. All right. Well, this video is going to have some heat then. Anyways, sorry. The elves. We got a thing going on with the elves. You know how it is, dwarves and elves. There's a little bit of a back and forth going on. So, what's my strategy for this thing? I could be wrong, and I hope I'm not wrong, and my whole strategy is based on being right here. But you may notice that, I have found anyways, that when I attack a 230 tile, I crush this thing. I crush it pretty good, man. And when I look at the power rating, though, it says it's 62,000 power. I think that means that each army in there is 31,000 power, and there are 2 armies in there. And I really hope that I'm right about that. Because if I'm wrong about that, then I am in some serious trouble. And maybe I am wrong, because then this thing is going to kick my butt, and I'm just going to lose a bunch of troops for no value. That might be what's about to happen. But whatever, let's figure it out. How tough is my commander really? Can I take this thing? I'm going to use my Dwalin. It's my level 50 commander. My gear is just okay. It says this is terrifying, but here's the thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fight it, let it run into a draw, okay, then retreat my march back to my city, refresh the march, send it again, let it run into a draw. See what I mean? And I think that because I'm not just going to stand there and like let my march fight again with low troops, it's going to be okay. Or this could be terrible. F it. Let's find out. Your enemies are very powerful. You're likely to lose. The game be like, you are about to get completely wrecked. Okay. Show me how wrecked I am going to be. Either way, I get a video for YouTube. So I feel like I'm winning either way. Now, should I have scouted this? Maybe. But there's 2 armies in here. It's one of 2 armies. Now, scouting is probably valuable, but, well, I got my marches all over the place, quite frankly. Maybe it's worth. I probably should be scouting. This is probably a terrible mistake. This is probably going to be a disaster. I probably should have rewatched my video, by the way, of when I took a 260 tile card up in the top. That's what I should have done to remind myself why this was going to be a terrible idea and why I don't even take 260s anymore. Why do I think I can take a 300 and that this is profitable? And I'll tell you, if I'm going to do a lot of mock battling and this thing is right next to my city, I feel like there's some pretty solid value for having a higher tier tile. Okay, so here we go, baby. We're going to hit this thing. In my ideal world, this would be a food tile because that's like the resource I need the most. But I spawned in like the most resource lush area. This was my starting area. It's god tier, man. It is freaking god tier where I started. Like, it's honestly disgusting how good of a starting spot I got. It shouldn't even be allowed. It's so good. Here we go. Let's see how bad this is. This is probably a disaster. Okay, I pulled the draw. This is a disaster. I'm going to lose a lot of troops. But I feel like I'm already committed to this path. So now I run this march home. This is probably going to take me 3 hits. My hospital is going to get really full, and I'm going to lose a lot of troops. And this is something I do one time to get the job done, and then never again until I have better equipment. I think that's the moral of the story. Oh my gosh. That was pretty savage. A lot of trolls and a Ravager. Okay, Ravager. Physical damage received and a 50% chance each round of attacking all enemy units. Okay. Well, now we know why I'm getting my butt kicked. That explains what's happening there. Okay. That's pretty gross. That's pretty gross, but I'm committed to the path now. I have a grand total of 13 minutes, 57 seconds. And this is why it was so important that it be right next to my city. Because since it's right next to my city, I can hit it again, and then I can retreat, and I can hit it again, and I can retreat, and I can wear this thing down. Again, I don't really like this. Also, I may have just arrived in my other position over here. Ooh. Did I get here? I did, and they retreated. That's interesting. We'll just keep an eye on our march. They retreated. That's so interesting. We'll keep an eye on our marches here to see if they attack them. Kind of wasn't expecting this. So, is what it is. We'll just keep watch here. And honestly, like, maybe I bring another march over here just to keep things honest, you know? Just to keep it a little spicy, a little honest. I'll bring 2 more marches here. And I have a really strong march to protect this tile if they actually, like, go for it. So that march, yeah, is getting here pretty soon. Okay, back to the task at hand. I have to refill my march now. I bring a bunch of these. I bring a lot of these. Dude, I feel like the way to do this, since they have so many large units, is to bring a lot of axe throwers. But I also need a lot of tankiness. Oh, it's kind of a weird situation. Maybe like this. Okay. And we smash it again. And we just wear this thing down. Or it wears us down. Don't remind me how bad of an idea this was. Thank you, game. How terrible of an idea this was. As I watch the action over here, I'm going to try to uproot this city, but that's going to happen in a separate video. First, ideally, I'm winning down here. Don't know if that's going to happen. This is definitely going to take 3 to 4 attempts to make this happen. This is a lot of energy. It's all off of one of my actual strongest commander right now, so it's a pretty expensive endeavor. Also, I should have been watching more closely. I mean, in a worst case for the final march, I could send Faramir if I had to. Not ideal. In fact, I need to fix the balance of his troops. Let's go do that right now. If we just get a look at Faramir's troops here, I want to reduce on the number of tank units that I have there, the Ram Riders. Little boost over there to round out that command unit, and that's a much better balance. There we go. Okay. So here we are. This attack is going to hurt. The problem this is going to hurt is because I'm going to defeat the one army, and then the second army is going to really wreck me. I don't know, man. I committed to this path. I don't know. I don't know that this was a good one, but we'll see. My curiosity for a 300 tile was too high. There it is. Now I draw, and this is where, oh yeah, I'm hurting. But let's run this march back, and we do this one more time, and we'll look at the reports. Here we go. Run it home. So in the first battle, I mean, this was not so bad. 666 dead troops. Something funny about that. And then in the second battle, it's the same freaking giant units, man. Holy wow. And I lost 1,724. That's actually not so bad in the grand scheme of things. But hitting this tile and taking this tile has losses that are at least 2x what I would get from a 260 tile. So this is why I feel like having one of these is probably a sound plan. But taking lots of these feels difficult. And I feel like one of the big advantages of a tile like this, by the way, is that it's so hard to take, at least at this stage in the game, that even an enemy who's trying to like wreck your resource production, if they came along, like they can't just willy-nilly decide to take one of these. Like this will go sideways for them if they just try to, I don't know, face check such a difficult tile. But here we go. Here's what we're going to do. We refresh this march. This is rip all my troops. My barracks was full anyways before all of this, just about. So the only problem I've got is I'm so active in this game that my hospital is kind of overflowing. That's a little bit of an issue. And it's not overflowing. I should be more precise with my words here. But like my hospital is definitely, my apothecary is very full. Possible I should be bringing, in fact, what if I did it like this, okay? Just completely change the composition of my army here. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to drop in these bow knights. Maybe should have done this sooner when I saw what I was up against. Okay, what about that? Lot of damage to large units. Let's see if this is better. We'll give it a shot. I've made the choice. I'm not going to call it a mistake, but I have made the choice of going all in on a small number of unit types and having all their skills maxed. So that unit that I just swapped in, so I have a lot less frontline tankiness right now, but I have a T4 tanky unit in the front, which is pretty good. But the unit that I just swapped to is this right over here, the Bow Knight, which reduces the damage received and also does additional damage to large units, which is pretty good. Maybe I should have just stuck with all dwarves and gone with just tons of dwarves. And I don't know, maybe I don't need the unit diversity. They also have extra damage against melee units. Maybe that would have been a way to go. Either way, we'll see this report in just a second. I swapped out the Ram Rider. That I feel like is one of the problems maybe with the Dwarven faction is like they've got 3 tanky top tier units. They've got a T4 infantry tank. They have a T3, I say infantry, I guess melee tank, right? And then they have the Ram Rider, which is a mounted unit, but is also just very tanky. Like it's not really, I think it's not really a DPS unit. It's kind of a tanky debuffer, which, I mean, the dwarves, it makes sense. They have all tankiness, but I sort of have decided to augment my troop options with something that it's mounted. I don't know that I cared about that, but it does extra damage to large units and is ranged, like lots of damage. There we go. We got the tile, baby. We did it. How much did I lose this time? Oh my God. Not much. Not much at all. 397. They just didn't have that much left, you know? They didn't have that much left. I also think that having the extra punch against large units was pretty sweet. So now we bring Dwalin home. So in total, how many units did I lose to try to take this tile? It's a lot. That was a lot of troops that I just lost. If we get a look, oh my gosh. We start with 2,400 troops lost. Then we add in another 666. So we're at like 3,100. And then, oh gosh, 4,800. And finally, maybe that's, I mean, let's call it 5,000 troops to take the tile. So was it worth it? A mock battle on this tile is 50,000 experience base, okay, plus 7,500 extra. So I get 57,500. If I mock battle over here at a 260, I'm getting 46,000. So yes, I am getting a lot more experience per stamina, per ability point used on the bigger tile. From a gathering standpoint, if I gather at my old tile with no gathering ring points, it's 72,000 base. And if I get a look at the bigger tile, we're cracking 84,000. It's more. It makes my ability point use more efficient. Would I recommend that most people go and cap at 300? Maybe one. Maybe when you have a level 50 commander. Maybe if you're scouting and being more efficient with your countering. But was this necessary for me? Probably not. Probably not. The efficiency that I'm hunting for is future efficiency when I am going and I am doing mock battling and gathering. Also, I get a lot of resources from this thing. 1,600 resources per hour compared to 1,400. I mean, honestly, like, It matters, but not all that much. If you found this video informative, educational, throw a like on here. Consider subscribing for more Lord of the Rings Rise to War videos designed to help you get value and smash your enemies. And until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies and consider subscribing because I'm going to do another video where I uproot this city, baby.